everyone, it's your girl Fadake from the Flow Journal. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into season 3 of Bel Air, episode 1. And let me tell you guys, this episode did not hold back and it did not disappoint. From Carlton's return from rehab and his potential new love interest, to Will's heavy decision to step back from basketball, and the surprise marriage proposal that no one saw coming, this episode packed a punch. And guess what? Will's father is back in the mix. If you're a fan of the show, just a heads up, this will be a spoiler filled review, so make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell to keep up with all my recaps this season. Now let's jump in. This episode starts off with Will and Lisa trying to navigate their rekindled relationship after everything that happened to them in season 2. It's great to see them back together. But hold up. Lisa drops the bombshell that she wants no labels on their relationship. She wants to keep things casual. I found this really interesting since it feels like Lisa is trying to guard her heart after everything they've been through as a couple. And you know what? I don't blame the girl. I mean, we all remember how quickly Will moved on with Jackie last season, right? So here's my question for you guys. Do you see Will and Lisa's relationship working out this time around? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Now, let's talk about Will's new path. He's introduced to Quinton, a former MMA fighter now turned entrepreneur and mentor. You may recognize the actor that plays Quinton from the TV show The Shy. Quinton runs this amazing program called Young, Gifted, and Black, and Will is totally inspired. He wants to be part of this business program, but as we all know, Will has always seen basketball as his golden ticket. This eternal struggle shapes up to be a major theme in this episode. Will finally comes face to face with his dad again. You might recall that the first time that they met was in season 1 finale of Bel Air, and let's just say things were tense between them. Will in this episode learns from his father about their shared passion for basketball. His dad played basketball in high school. Will's pain is evident in the scene, especially when he realizes that his father could have been in his life all along but chose not to. Also, when Will shared with his father that he wanted to open up his options other than just basketball in regards to the Young Gifted and Black program, he didn't get his father's support. This adds another heavy layer to why Will ultimately decides to step back from basketball. Do you think he's going to regret this big move? Now on to Carlton. He's back from rehab, and guess what? He's got feelings for someone called Amira. He met her during his time at rehab, and she also has her own struggles with addiction. It's kind of giving a bit of codependence. This love story adds a lot of depth to Carlton's character, but we see Aunt Viv is throwing some major shade on their relationship. She's not having it. She's protective and understandably so, given Carlton's history of, lying, keeping secrets from his family. She just wants him to focus on his recovery. And yeah, so could this new romance be a distraction for Carlton in this recovery? I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Personally, I think Carlton being in a relationship right now isn't a good idea. I also find it interesting to see how Aunt Viv tries to stir Carlton in the right direction, but is she being too harsh and too pushy, especially the way that she spoke to Amira in this episode? Like, yeah, it was a lot. Like, I understand where Aunt Viv was coming from, but at the same time, you just met this girl. Like, she might just be feeling like, do you really not like me? Anyway, let's talk about the family dinner scene in this episode, guys. It the tension was undeniable and it was awkward as hell seeing like watching this family scene. And it doesn't stop there, guys. Ashley, the young truth teller of the family, the youngest out of the Banks siblings, isn't holding back either in this episode. During the family dinner, she calls out Carlton about his struggles and what he learnt during his time at rehab to see whether it actually made any difference. Carlton admits that it was tough, but it helped him face his demons. He says that he learnt that you can't heal what you don't reveal. Let me say that again. You can't heal what you don't reveal. That's a word right there. The family dinner scene reveals how the Banks family really tries to uphold this perfect facade. They try to the outside world see the Banks family as the perfect picture family, while ignoring the underlying issues within the family. These people do not speak, they're not honest with each other about issues that they're going through. And then when they are honest with each other, it's a bit too late. Do you guys think that more honesty would help the Banks family heal, or would it just create more chaos? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. We definitely also see in this episode that Ashley is holding on to some resentment towards Carlton. And as you may recall from last season, she found Carlton taking drugs and confronted him about it to tell their parents. But his reaction towards her wasn't very nice. He was very threatening and just not a nice person at that time. This has broken, as a result, this has broken their relationship, and Carlton would need to work on trying to regain his sister's trust again. And we see that developing in this first episode of Bel-Air. After that kind of awkward moment in the family dinner, Carlton is trying to rebuild that relationship. He even speaks to his older sister, Hilary. I think Hilary was the oldest, to like, since she's quite close with Ashley, to try to just be there for Ashley, because he knows that, okay, Ashley doesn't really want to talk to him right now, but baby steps, baby steps. Also, the ground rules that Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil set up to help Carlton with his recovery, like locking up the winery, doing drug tests each morning, and taking off his bedroom doors, seem extreme, but are they necessary? It raises a lot of questions about trust and boundaries within the family. One thing that I love about Bel-Air is that it doesn't shy away from portraying complex characters such as Carlton. The show also addresses real life issues, including the challenges of loving a family member who's a recovering addict. It delves into the struggles of wanting to support their journey while being careful not to alienate them and working to rebuild trust. And we definitely see how the Banks family, pull together in both episode 1 and throughout the season, to try to help Carlton in his journey of recovery. And I think for Carlton, it's a lot for him to adjust to this new way of life, because before he was able to get away with lying to his parents, keeping things in secret when it came to him taking drugs, and they weren't aware of it, but now they are aware and they're going to be hyper aware of things. So he can't hide away from it. He has to kind of confront drug addiction and how this has caused a lot of mistrust within the family, and the family just being quite alert because they feel like they've failed him in the past, in that they didn't necessarily notice the signs at first. It was only maybe like Will that found out about Carlton taking drugs. The key moment that arises in this episode was when Carlton helps Will secure a spot in the Young, Gifted and Black program. This was after Will sadly missed his interview with Quentin. Carlton convinces Quentin to give Will another chance by highlighting Will's strength and sharing his own story as a recovering drug addict. Quentin agrees to let them both join the program, which was surprising, provided they become business partners. Who would have thought that Will and Carlton will become business partners?
Look at us, huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
That they'll be working together. Given their competitive rivalry, and with them always constantly arguing with one another, always falling out in their relationship as cousins, it will be interesting to see how they navigate their new roles as business partners. Now, shifting gears to Hilary and LaMarcus in this episode, can we talk about how they just got back from a romantic getaway? They were definitely living it up. We saw LaMarcus rubbing Hilary's feet, giving her a feet massage. They were drinking champagne. They were on a private jet, just living their best life, all lovey-dovey. But watching Hilary move on from Jazz that fast feels a bit forced to me. As we may remember from last season's finale, Hilary and Jazz broke up. In the midst of them, before they broke up, there was some issues in their relationship. One was that Hilary's ex, LaMarcus, who was, I believe, her first love, came back into the picture. the family love him. You know, Uncle Phil loves him. His family is quite close with the Banks family, and Jazz was jealous and insecure because in his head, I feel like he felt that he was inadequate and it was not enough to be with Hillary. You know, Hillary comes from a rich family. Lamarcus also comes from a rich family, so they're able to relate in that way. Whilst with Jazz, he doesn't come from a rich family. He works at a record store that used to be his uncle's, and you know he's still trying to figure things out. Whilst Lamarcus, on the other hand, seems to have everything sorted out. You know, and in the midst of that, Lamarcus wants to get back with Hillary. He called her and told her like, "Oh, let's go away together," you know. And at the end of like season 2 of Bel-Air, the season finale, she picks up the call and she says, "Okay, cool, let's go on this trip." So this episode is them coming back from that trip on their private jet, and yeah, it seems that they're an item now. You know, Hillary has quote unquote moved on from Jazz, but in my hearts of hearts, I'm like, girl, you have not moved on. Episode that when Jazz shows up at the Banks family Juneteenth annual celebration with a date, and Hillary's obviously feeling some type of way about it. Things get heated between them. Both Hillary and Jazz have not seen each other for a long time. You know, she was away on holiday. Yeah, but it's interesting that Jazz is still invited to the Banks family's like home, like given that Jazz and Hillary have broken up. But then you have to remember that Jazz is best friends with Will, so Will was probably the one who invited Jazz to the family function. And I'm just like, that's a bit messy given the situation. But anywho, so Jazz and Hillary finally have a conversation with each other, and you know, firstly, Hillary talks to Jazz and apologizes that, "Oh no, I know it's been a long time that we've spoken. I want to apologize for how things went between us." And then Jazz is just giving her the cold shoulder. And during this conversation, Jazz like gives Hillary some truth bombs, and he called her, "She's a one and she's a track star. She's gonna run away when it gets hard." And he said that like she's a coward for always running away from her problems, including their relationship, and that he does not believe in the relationship that she has with Lamarcus. He thinks that she's just going to leave Lamarcus. That's not, it's just nothing special basically. And Hillary took that to heart and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be petty. I'm gonna show you that actually no, this relationship is real." And she drops the unexpected like moment in this episode when Hillary and Marcus make the announcement to the whole family and everyone that's invited to this family function that they are getting married. And Marcus proposes to Hillary. I'm sure that he probably proposed during their time on holiday, but does a public proposal so everyone can see it, including Jazz. And I did not see that coming. I was like, what? I really thought that Lamarcus was just a rebound for Hillary. You know, she'll have a fun time. You know, yeah. I want to know your thoughts, guys, on this. Do you think that this relationship between Lamarcus and Hillary is built on solid ground or just a rebound? I think it's a rebound relationship. Like, yeah, I think it's a rebound relationship. I honestly don't believe that Hillary has fully moved on from Jazz. This episode solidified that Jazz and Hillary are very much still in love with each other. Boy, despite being stubborn, and this surprise proposal feels rushed to me. Um, and as much as Lamarcus is a great guy, you know, he's good looking, he's fine, he's got his ish together, you know, he is well established. he's able to kind of fit in the Banks family. The Banks family already love him. He's already got Uncle Phil's approval, Aunt Viv's approval. Um, he already is accustomed to the lifestyle that Hillary grew up with, and he treats Hillary like a princess. But I don't sense that Hillary is fully committed to this relationship. I don't think she's given herself enough time to heal from the breakup that she had with Jazz and to fully be okay that it's finally over. Her rushing into getting married to Lamarcus feels again like Jazz is right in what he said, that she does run away from problems, and this is her running away from her problems and not confronting them head on. But I am team Jazz and Hillary till this day.
To this day.
Episode of Bel-Air kicked off season 3 with some serious drama and emotional depth. There's a lot happening with all our favorites. I didn't even touch on Jeffrey and how his son is back in his picture, and there's some issues which I will speak about in episode 2 regarding his past and how his past is coming back to him. So yeah, I'm just here for all the drama that Bel-Air is providing in this new season. What were your thoughts on episode 1? What do you think will happen next? Drop your comments down below, and if you enjoyed my breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more recaps, and thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye!